What's going on, everyone? This is Cadman Cycling. Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll review some sprint tips within Zwift. We're in Zwift Paris right now. It's a 4-mile circuit with one sprint segment. So we'll go around 3 separate times and kind of review some sprint tips while seeing if we can capture Zwift's green jersey. This green jersey is given to the fastest sprint time, the rider with the fastest sprint time, who's currently riding the circuit. So our goal today is we'll go through this sprint segment 3 different times, review some tips, and see if we can't capture that green jersey while doing so. This is a bit of a different video. This isn't a race, but hopefully for anyone who's riding in Zwift, this can be helpful and kind of fun to try something different every once in a while. So we're coming around the bend here, about to take our first shot at this sprint. I'm jumping the watts up there on the left-hand side. We can see the sprint segment starts. This being my first time around the lap, here it is, just passing the green dashes. I took a little bit too long to get started. Like I said, this is my first lap. I wasn't quite sure where the sprint segment started, but once I get up to speed, my legs are fresh here, which is nice. I can get the power up a little bit, and we crossed the line in second place. So of about 70 people on the circuit right now, I have the second fastest time. That's not quite good enough to get me the green jersey. And while we're doing these tests, just in the bottom left, I'll keep track of the times for each of the 3 sprints. So sprint 1, just under 17 seconds, 16.79. So this Paris route, like I was saying, 4 miles long, 1 sprint each lap. We'll skip forward a little bit so we just capture the important sprint parts. So we'll try this 3 times today. The sprint's just under 0.2 miles, which correlates to an effort of around 15 to 20 seconds. In this case, this first one was just under 17 seconds. So we'll jump forward, still on this first lap, kind of getting closer to the second sprint, but we'll see what happens here. I'm currently in my blue jersey, and it'll quickly actually transition over to this green jersey. So what that means is in the first sprint, I got second place, but the first place rider must have logged off of the Zwift game. And because he or she logged off, then I am kind of the next one in line to receive that jersey. So I didn't improve my sprint time because I haven't tried the sprint again, but I did get that green jersey solely because the rider in first logged off, but obviously that's not how I want to get it. So we'll skip forward again, going around this semicircle turnaround, getting ready for the second sprint. This time I know exactly where the sprint starts. So going into this one, I'll kind of start pushing the watts a little bit earlier. That first sprint was a nice kind of basis just to get used to what it looks like and give me an overall time to shoot for. But this second time around, I'll kind of start pushing the watts earlier, see if we can get up to full speed quicker, just because it's such a short segment that really any speed you can get ahead of time helps. So here I'm already up to 300 watts. We haven't quite reached, there's the start of the segment. I'm at 500 watts. So it did a pretty good job here of getting started a little bit earlier. The time to beat this time around is 16 seconds, 70.79. Let's see how we crossed the finish line, 16.31. So that's just enough to build my lead a little bit. It's 0.4 seconds better than the first time around, and we still get to keep this green jersey for the time being. So what was different that time around? I'd say the biggest change was that I knew where the sprint started. So my legs are still fresh. It's just still under 6 miles of riding for the day, and nothing too hard outside of these sprint efforts. So my legs are still fresh, but this time I was able to get up to speed before the sprint started. So this is really my top tip overall, and it goes along with having to know the course ahead of time. So this is now my second time around this little Paris circuit. And that really helped the sprint. So I knew when the sprint started, A, and then B, I got up to speed ahead of time. Those are the two biggest things when it comes to sprinting. Other than that, it's just putting down as much power as you possibly can on the pedals. So here we are getting ready for the third sprint. I jumped ahead a little bit, and we're back in this blue jersey. So I've actually been overtaken now as the sprint leader that's currently riding. So someone has beat me. So I really need to improve upon the 16.31. This is the final try I'll give it. Again, kind of after the third sprint, you start to lose some power in your legs. So going into this, I just decided 3 times would be the right amount. This time I do have a power up. So on the top left-hand portion of the screen, I have an arrow power up, which is perfect. So this will decrease the wind resistance. So I'll actually use this power up just before I start the sprint. And I'm hoping that if all goes to plan, and even if I do put out the exact same power as I did last time, I should be faster this time around with the arrow. So here we go, getting the watts up. We can see on the left-hand side the time that I'm shooting for if I want to get first place. I use the arrow boost. Almost hit 1,000 watts, not quite. We're in the 900 range. I'll keep pushing as fast as I can, and we cross the banner. 15.28. So I improved almost an entire second solely because of this arrow boost. So that's tip number 3. If there's any way you can use power-ups to your advantage, they are extremely important in these sprint segments, especially because you're most likely not drafting off of anyone in this case. It's not like a race where you're in a pack. So that's the third time. I mean, after my first sprint at 16.79, I didn't expect to improve a full second and a half off of it, but I got the green jersey, so I was pretty happy with it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit different from the races. Like I said, I'll get back to doing those races. Those are a lot of fun, but just wanted to review some of these sprint tips and do something a little bit different in the world of Zwift without joining a race today. So guys, this is Cadman Cycling. If you like this video and some of the other videos I put out, please go ahead and subscribe. It means a lot to me and the channel, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye.